Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Wrestling for Life Network. This today on a beautiful Sunday is going to be a little bit of a different stream, a different show, as we're not going to get into all the graps and all that kind of thing. We have a very serious topic we want to talk about, get into. Myself and that pretty face next to me, we're going to break it open. We're going to have an open discussion about men's mental health in honor of Men's Mental Health Month. We're looking forward to this one. Lots to talk about. As always, get in that chat. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy. Be a part of the community. We want to know your experiences, your feelings, how you're doing. And we're going to talk all kinds of stuff, how to get support, what you can do to kind of combat the symptoms, and how we can help support each other all the way through this journey that is life. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network. It's going to be a good show, and we appreciate you being here today. But let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live, folks. And as I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are the most unscripted, uncensored, unbiased wrestling coverage out there. But today, whether you're a wrestling fan, not a wrestling fan, male, female, everyone else out there, it doesn't matter as we get into wrestling with mental health. This is a topic that's near and dear to my partner's heart and mine as well. And we're looking forward to just having an open forum. I know a lot of people out there are fighting the good fight and going through their own struggles. So we thought, as two guys that have a very male dominant channel, it would be a wonderful topic to come on, talk about, change the tone a little bit. And we're going to break it open. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy. If you don't know, I am Mr. Everynight KJ White. That is Big Nick. How are you, sir? This is a heavy one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not doing the normal, ladies and gentlemen, all of that. But yeah, no, you get it. But yeah, and I really like with us doing this and everything, and especially the community that we have, and hopefully anybody and even beyond tunes into this and all that, because it needs to be discussed about. And I like that we're making talking about this issue easier, because that's been the biggest thing, and that's one of the things that's hardest, especially for men, is being able to easily talk about this stuff. And it needs to be more accessible, more readily talked about. I know we check in with each other before and after pretty much every stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the great things about what we've created here in this channel and even my relationship with you is that ability to, it doesn't take anything to say to somebody that you know, hey, how you doing? And again, some days you might get, I'm fine. And other days you might get everything. So again, it's so important to kind of normalize the conversation. We have a couple of friends that popped in and left us some messages that we're going to share with the fans out there. As well as part of the show today. And they say the same thing. I mean, it's all about pulling back the stigma. Again, this idea of the tough man or the man's man, the men don't cry, boys don't cry, but men do. So that's the way it's going to be as we go through this conversation today. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the stats, some of the truths, the facts out there about depression and men's mental health in particular. And then we're going to get into some of the things we could do. We're going to talk about our own experiences. We welcome anyone out there to talk about their experiences as well. As we see the chat coming already. We won't do a full roll call. Maybe we'll get kind of close.
But even if you're not watching this live or anything like that, if you're watching on a replay or anything like that, fully load the comments, because again, you are not alone. There is always somebody out there that will that sympathizes with you, that can relate to you, that will listen to you. And if you don't got somebody, you got us.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's one of the cool things. Like our buddy Big Ben, he's been, gassing up an independent wrestler every day for the entire month of June. And, seeing the comments and the more, even on a video like this, if you comment after the video, let people know that you're going through your struggles. You have your battles. It helps you feel better. It helps you feel stronger. But this idea that we're not alone, and you'll see it go by the ticker 100 times tonight, but you're not alone. And I think that's the biggest feeling. And we've all been in places where we feel extremely alone. And the hardest part is when you feel alone around people. But regardless, you're not. There's plenty of people out there going through what you're going through. And let's be realistic. And nowadays, there's not many people that have their shit fully dialed in. So no, I mean, again, realistically, this is the biggest part of our message today, and why we like this community so much is we brought people together for various reasons: entertainment, for fun, for a good time, but also to support one another. And kind of, we've seen the comments, Nick, of in the chat about people having bad days. You and I have had bad days. Then we hit, go live, and that bad day kind of fades away. So it's been an amazing experience from that standpoint.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is therapy for you, and I know that for a fact. Of this helps some of the bad days go away and everything, just coming on and interacting with everybody in the chat and all of that. And again, the community that we built, the community we can build, continue to build, and everything, of can all bicker and banter and everything. It's a one extended family and everything,
Yep.
but still have each other's back and all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so with that being said, we are the Wrestling Fans United. Again, if you haven't been here before, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, be a part of the family, be a part of the fun. But I want to start this show off today. A very important message from Nick and I. We are not experts. We are not doctors. We don't play one on TV. We don't know all the alls. You're going to hear some things that you're like, no kidding. You're going to, things you've heard a million times. You're going to hear some cliches, because we're not experts. We're just two guys with experience, two guys that battle our own mental health and go through our own mental hurdles, and I feel like we can speak from experience, but we will express explicitly that we're not experts. Seek expert or professional help if you are feeling down, if you are feeling like you're struggling. Again, as much as friends can help, you just remember, we're not giving you, this is our legal statement for the day.
Yeah, we're not even a small town bird lawyer. We didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express Inn or anything like that. Just, this is us being us. And again, I love that it's on the ticker for literally even multiple international ways, because I know we're cross-platform, cross-continental and everything like that. But there are sources, there are free sources that are out there that you can reach out and get in contact with anybody that you need that's an actual expert on this. We are us being us. We are talking about our experiences with this, our opinions, our feelings on it, and everything. And I still like, though, that us talking about it is, again, making the conversation about it more easy, more accessible, more relatable, of more like past the surface level.
Absolutely. And I think one of the saddest things we hear, as we're going to move forward, but one of the saddest things you hear consistently is, I had no idea and I didn't expect that. And that goes to show how well, we can bottle, how well we've been trained, and kind of, develop that need to bottle and bottle and bottle. And it ultimately, that bottling becomes the explosion. That's the problem. So we will talk about some facts here today. We got some stats, just so again, some of you guys know this already, but we thought it would be important to kind of shed light on, again, the overall message of today's show. You're not alone. So approximately 1 in 4 men will experience mental health disorder. That kind of goes without saying. That's 25%. Again, we get 100 people in our chat, 25 of y'all struggling with something, and I would argue that it might be up to 50% some days. So again, the stats speak for themselves. Over 6 million men suffer from depression per year in the U.S., but male depression often undiagnosed. So we didn't know, Nick. We weren't expecting that.
Well, and it's also, I've seen to where men will show different symptoms than women and everything like that. And also, like we've talked about more than anything, and I see a couple comments, I know we'll click on them later.
We're getting there.
I love all the comments and everything, and reading some people that it's their first time hearing all that.
Yep.
But that men won't seek help. Men seek more. They have more issues with alcoholism, with drug abuse, with suicide is more prominent in men than it is in women and everything like that, because it is such that stigma of, like you said before, boys don't cry, boys don't talk about their feelings, boys, you suck it up, you take it on the chin, you bottle it up, and you learn how to just take it and deal with it.
100%. That becomes the overall overwhelming situation. More than 3 million men in the U.S. have panic disorders, agoraphobia, or any other phobia. So again, like, this idea, I think we get very isolated in our feelings and our emotions, and I really want people to understand today that there's everyone out there is similar. That's why we always preach trying to find kindness. You know, you don't always have to react and shoot from the hip. We have no idea what other people are going through in their plight. So the idea that feeling of isolation, the numbers are crazy. 2.3 million Americans are affected by bipolar disorder, Nick.
We're going to talk about that in a minute here and everything like that. Well, no, we're going to talk about that story later here.
Okay,
but yeah, no, I was just going to mention about how, oh Christ, now you got me halfway kerfuffled and everything about that. But again, of how many people go undiagnosed, and again, you're not alone in that. There is no normal. Normal is a setting on a fucking appliance. Normal is a fallacy. Normal is a lie. There is no normal. Even right now, sir, your normal is entirely different than my normal, and will always be that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody in the chat, your normal is entirely different than the person who literally chatted above you, than my normal, than your normal, anything. That I need to be normal fallacy. It just needs to go away and stay away.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And I think as I've gotten older and kind of gone through my processes and still battling, I think you kind of understood of the counter to that of I don't know why I'm trying to be normal or what normal is, but I don't know if I want to be that. I don't know if I want to be generic. I don't know that I want to be just normal. I think my rough edges make it kind of fun.
But that's you being you. You're the unique snowflake. There is nothing wrong with you.
Nothing.
There is nothing wrong with you, and I'm saying that to you specifically and generically and everything. At the same level of it is, how can I better handle things? How can I better adjust to things? How can I cope with things better? All of that. There is nothing inherently wrong with you.
Yeah, I think that I mean, often I know from my experience and people I'm around, like as a man, if you start opening up, you almost follow it up with like, I'm sorry, like my bad, like.
But that's the stigma. That's the standard that we have built as men of it's not cool to open up, and that's again why. And I'll say this, as I know we're going through all the stats, but why I appreciate you and I appreciate Anthony so much of you, especially we do this literally every night. We have check-ins literally before and after streams and all of that, and constantly, even half the time, we'll just more of get annoyed when like, you good? Yes, I'm fine. Quit asking me.
Yeah,
I'd rather check in and make sure you're good. And then just, oh yeah, he's fine, don't worry about it. No, and I love that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have a discussion, to talk about things.
Absolutely, man. Men account for about 7 out of 10 suicides globally, and it's crazy. So again, just to see where the numbers are and understand that, you know, the stigmas are there and they exist. They lead to real things. I will admit, Nick, the next couple slides, like the stats kind of blew my mind. Like globally, we'll talk about, but like US, suicide is the second most common cause of death, men under the age of 45. Now you think about cancer and smoking and alcoholism and all these other factors, but suicide is the second leading cause. And I mean, considering how little we talk about it, considering there's warning labels on a bunch of shit, you know, there's constant campaigns against, you know, this to me, why would we not talk about this more if it's taken out, you know, more men than just about anything?
And that's not including the men that drink themselves, you know, into a pickled liver and everything like that, or OD because they're dealing with stuff and they don't have somebody to talk to or feel like they don't have somebody to talk to. Absolutely. The statistics alone say it's like one of those of like the Peter Griffin, why are we not funding this?
Right.
That's the thing is, and again, I hope to continuously see that statistic take a backward trend and constantly lower that number, because again, there is always someone out there who will listen to you. Whether you think that it's true or not, I'm telling you right now, you at least got 2 of us, if not 3 of us. So 100%, there is always somebody out there who will
Mhm.
listen to you, who will try and relate to you, will try and understand you.
Right.
You are not alone in this fight.
Absolutely not. Second leading cause of death in males under the age of 50. And to me, one's too many. So, to the fact that it's at this high of a level, in the UK, it's the single largest cause of death among males under the age of 50. To me, that is crazy. With all the things on this planet that can kill us or take us out and end our journey, it blows my mind that the leading way in three and globally it is it's ourselves. It's ourselves.
Well,
We implode.
and that's I don't want to fully put words in your mouth, but I know I've dealt with it. I believe you have
Hmm.
as well, of having
Hmm.
friends that have taken their own life and
Yep.
everything. Of that, you always just feel, I wish they would have said something. I
Yeah.
wish I could have talked to him. I wish,
Hmm.
it's a lot of what ifs, and it's one of those, you don't realize how much doing that hurts that person, and then it hurts that person, and
Yeah.
then hurts that person. Of it's such a ripple effect.
100%. Men are much less likely to get help for mental health, as we know. There is nothing wrong with needing help. If you want to look at it as a hand up, not a handout, fine. I know being vulnerable is hard, but there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with getting help. And I'm going to talk about it. I know you're going to talk about it as well, Nick. But getting help was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I was forced. I didn't have a choice. I had to go get help. And when I got help, it changed everything for me. And even now, years kind of you always kind of fall back on what you've learned in that regard, and it helps in such a big way.
Oh, absolutely. And I wasn't exactly forced. I knew I wanted to seek help and everything. And I've been around the block of, I've seeked help a couple different times, and certain times didn't work, or for this, that reason, or whatever. But again, it is just because that person doesn't connect to you doesn't mean that someone won't. Of That's the thing, is, again, and I'm going to get into it more probably when we share our stories and everything, but actually finding a therapist that connected and that worked and everything, and I actually felt comfortable to talk about everything,
Hmm.
what was just a
Hmm.
game changer.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, to find somebody that has no connection to you, or kind of what you're about to talk about, it kind of puts you in a place. I think, from my experience, once you kind of get over that initial shyness and kind of nerves of this is a stranger. Why do they want to know? Why do I have to talk about this? And even just having the awkwardness of not fully understanding how do I look inward. And I remember getting really frustrated because the old routine of like, and how did that make you feel? And how did that make you feel? I'm like, leave me alone. Like, stop it.
Yeah, it's one of those, it gets scary when you have to look inward and you have to face the person in the mirror and really
Mhm.
see and judge what's going
Yeah.
on. But I mean, if Tony Soprano can go to therapy, folks, you can
Right.
go to therapy as well.
That's an absolute beautiful
I
thought.
can't promise no Alfies, but I can promise
Right.
you might need some help.
No, I mean it's the biggest thing about this. And we just went through some stats. Again, nothing groundbreaking, but if men are taking themselves out at that rate, we have to find a way to convince each other they're supported, that they're not alone, that there is no problem saying I can't handle all this, and you know the usual structure. A lot of guys are busting ass and working every day and trying to put food on the table and trying to do all the things and trying to be Superman, and it's that chase. And if you keep it bottled, if you're not leaning on some people for help or some outlets, I mean, it's almost impossible. How would you not develop some type of problem?
I would say it's more of an issue at this point not talking about it than it is like than it ever would be an issue of you openly talking about
Yep.
it and actually opening up to anybody with it. The fact that, yes, it is, like, the statistics are, to me, once you actually really hear them and really let it soak in and everything, you're like,
Hmm.
really, this is happening, and
Yeah.
we're not talking about this, we're not discussing about this.
Hmm.
This is a 1 month thing instead of an everyday thing.
Yep.
um it really needs to be talked about more, and I think it's more of an issue that we don't talk about it regularly than the fact that of this whole men opening up about shit.
100%, 100%. Now, speaking of opening up, speaking of kind of sharing and being open, we're going to go through the chat a little bit here. I know Nick and I are, again, we got a lot to talk about as far as what we can do and how we're going to overcome. It's not all doom and gloom. The stats are the stats, but everything can change. Anything can get better. We try and get up on the right side of the bed every day, and just because the world is what it is right now doesn't mean we can't make it a better situation as we move forward. But with that being said, Sydney.
Well, and I just will really quickly before you say hi to the chat and everything, of that's why I always like to, like, we have be a friend, tell a friend and everything. Even that's a complete slogan on the channel that I think we took from Pat McAfee, but don't tell him. But again, you don't know what doing something like that might save somebody's life or anything. Like I always constantly like to use, even if I'm bringing wifey to work or anything like that, and she's not having a great day, it's a great day to have a great day. Just little stupid fucking slogans and everything like that are still just enough to help you get over that little hump.
Cliches are cliches for a reason, and they mean something and they matter. So you're going to hear a few, guys. But Sydney Lane Carter saying it was my birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Sydney. Thank you for popping in. We do appreciate it. Larry, I've been looking forward to this all day. Larry, welcome back. He says, I'm on SSI for a couple of mental conditions. One is called ADHD, very common, and we talk a lot about ADHD. Mine's horrible. And I have a social anxiety disorder as well. So thank you for sharing that, Larry. We do appreciate that. We do appreciate Larry, one of the longer members of our chat at this point.
Facts.
But Dennis is with us. Liam, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome back, sir. AWS, a man born with a brain damage since birth, and to overcome it, to have a successful life with my family. Proud to have you make this show, Eric. That is amazing. That is beautiful. Again, somebody that can speak to overcoming a whole lot and being successful. So, Eric, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you sharing and the kind words. That's pretty crazy.
And man just reached 53. Happy birthday. 53. I know we mentioned it the other night, but yeah, happy birthday.
Right. But again, I think a lot of times men get sold short for those moments, but the perseverance and stories like Eric's are outstanding.
Well, I like that it's becoming more of a commonplace. And I know we talked about Ben and maybe we might see him later and everything like that. But of this becoming much more of an open topic and much more of a discussion. Like I like, even just on the side note, that like Movember's becoming much more of a thing and all of that. Very much peeling back the stigma and becoming progressive with this and making it much more an open dialogue is needed.
Oh, absolutely. See, Money's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Always look on the bright side of life. That is actually one thing, and then we're going to talk about later, finding your joy. But that is one of the things that I battle, conditioning myself with. I really try not to panic about many things anymore in my life. Of, what's the bright side? What's worst case scenario? How, it's not so bad. What am I really stressed about is the biggest one. Like, why am I stressing out a bunch of stuff that I can't control? And you shouldn't worry about the things you can't control. That's one of the things that everyone has to let go of. But it's trying to find the bright. There are things to be happy about. I mean, I grew up in a household where it always felt like we never had enough. We were, always struggling for more. But it was like, if we all stopped and looked around, like, we had some things to be proud of. Like, there are things to be happy about, but we're so focused on what we don't have.
Well, that's changing perspective is a huge thing. And I don't mean to fully change perspective on this, but now I'm going to have good Monty Python, always look on the bright side of life, stuck in my head now. Thank you, C Money. Always bringing levity.
I like it. Wrestling Proud, welcome back. Good to see you, sir. People giving each other love it. Trey, welcome back. Hassan, good to see King Cordster. I like it. What's going on, everyone? Nick, long time. So King Cordster showing you, buddy.
Well, no, I think if we're going through all of that, that's when he was saying, this is my first time here. I've watched a few of the past videos, and I have to say, I love your opinions on things. Let's all band together for a wrestling community. I think that's when he then realized he knew me from a Facebook group from a time beyond.
Let's go. Small world.
Jason saying, thank you, KJ Nick. Wrestling is my escape for me to help deal with my anxiety. I came here looking for a group to watch wrestling with, and now everyone feels like friends. Absolutely.
That was the
Some might call us a cult. I call us a family, but we're very much, spreading the joy and spreading the positive vibes out here.
Nick and I are too lazy to get preachy, so we can't be a cult.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, we have our moments.
Shumana higher, Shumana Honda.
It's too much energy.
We're going to the Biblics, my guy.
Right.
Todd's been happy Sunday, and I'm so happy you guys and someone in general is finally having this discussion.
Absolutely.
As Tommy, I have mental health too, along with Asperger's syndrome. It sometimes gets to me. Last Monday, my anger was really bad, and I hit myself. I'm going to just publicly say I've been there as a teenager and everything. One of those of, spoiler alert for later, I have bipolar disorder and everything. So I've been there of when at times shit gets a little too intense and you're at a certain age, you don't know how to can handle shit. But yeah, caused me to have a black eye. So sorry, I don't do that often. No need to apologize. And again, normal is subjective. Normal is not a fucking standard. Normal is a fucking lie of a word.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, that's one of the bigger parts of the dilemma is this fake concept of normal. Normal is your normal. It's your kingdom. You build it in your vision.
Right. MDB. I love this from MDB. Fun fact, the $9.99 in my username is one of the reasons that helped save my life when I was in the darkest place in my life. $9.99 means to turn all negatives into positives.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely love it. Good.
Right.
I love Mickey.
I like
Dennis, moderate anxiety and severe depression. Also have had suicidal thoughts from people making fun of me because of how I walk due to what I was born with. And at times feeling like a burden. You are never a burden, sir.
Never a burden. I mean, that's the easiest one to kind of dispel. Nobody, you're not a burden to anybody. You are loved by people. Feeling like a burden, I get it. I've been there. But at the end of the day, you're loved, and people who love you don't view you as a burden. But beyond that, I mean, we got to find a way to. We got to let go of that negativity. And I know it's easy for me to say to our buddy, but again, those are people's opinion of you or their little quibs or their little side. That's none of your business. Fuck them. You don't know them. You don't need them. And that's their plight. That's their problem to fix and deal with.
Well,
I'm glad you've been strong. And yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but let it go.
Well, and I will say this, and I can relate to that of this man can even attest to it. I'm pretty sure when we've not been live on stream and everything, I've at times in discussing stuff and everything kind of raised that similar sentiment and everything like that. So it is not wrong for you to feel that way, but it's inaccurate. I'll put it that way.
Well, I mean, it's no different. I mean, in a lot of ways, it was very.
Well, no, it's one of those of like, I get where you're justified, where you might think that, but that you're not accurate in saying that and feeling
absolutely.
that way.
Right. I did see Trey was kicking around. Sydney, we got you. Eric Tate, Anthony's back with us. KJ Nick, do you guys ever watch Coastal? We'll talk about wrestling at another time, Anthony. I don't know if you noticed, but we're kind of doing a thing. But yeah, I'm sure it was great. Be supportive of each other. Rebecca, great advice. That's all you can do.
Absolutely.
My panic attacks are slowing down a lot. That's great to hear. And that's something I had to work with and figure out. And I know you have as well. I mean, it's so hard when you're not in control of your
body. Well, the first time I had one, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I was like, it was so unsettling of the first time I had like a serious one.
Yeah. Todd, how you doing? Anthony saying KJ and Nick, your streams pull me through some rough times. 2-year anniversary of a friend's death who died in the Middle East with the meter. No, we appreciate that, Anthony. And that, again, that's not something we ever expected that would come from doing these shows. But it's a really cool side effect of it all. And we appreciate it. And again, you guys, the chat, the people that tune in and watch, the people that support, they don't know it, but there's been many days that you've pulled us through hard times, hard days, hard moments. I've been sitting at my desk, tears in my eyes 5 minutes before live and trying to get my shit together for, to do it. And you guys have been awesome. You make me laugh, you make me smile. Yeah, and the camaraderie, we share on screen with everybody. It's outstanding.
Oh, I've said this multiple times, and I know we both feel this way, and I will say this even for you and Anthony as well, of this has been at times my therapy of coming in and sitting there and just, I can put everything aside and I just get to go be a superstar for 2 hours, 3 hours, what have you, and hang out with my friends and just talk about wrestling and put everything else the fucking side. It has been such a release, and I'm being honest and genuine right now, and I'm literally tapping my desk because I'm trying not to get fully choked up of this has done wonders for my mental health personally. And I will publicly say that, and I will preach that to the end of time, of not just even you, sir. Sorry. Yes, I love you too, all of that, but everybody in the chat, all of that, everybody that's new here. Hey, congratulations. You get to see us be all sentimental and soft. But
there's that stigma.
This has been like, this 3 years doing this has done wonders for my mental health.
That's awesome to hear, bro. And I mean, I know you and I talk every day for 3 years now. It's insane how time flies. But I think your story and my story, as far as you never know what impact somebody can have on your life. And I always tell people not to be so dismissive of others. Nick showed up in a chat one day and he was very persistent, very vocal, as you guys could imagine. If you think, I don't know how your thumbs didn't break some nights, but you kept the chat going, right? When there was like 6, 7 people in the chat, a couple of them were like family members, and yourself. And then when we, one day I had a bad day and I felt like I needed some support to make this work. And I was like, hey man, you ever try doing this? And you were like, I go into the green screen. And I was like, let's fucking go. Like, it was like that. But all of a sudden, here's 2 guys from different parts of the world, don't know anything about each other, and just start kind of clicking. And that's kind of when people say things like, oh, you like fate, right? Like, it's serendipitous in a lot of ways of, I think, I hate to quote like a Kevin Smith movie, but it's like prophets come in the all shapes and sizes, right? Like, you never know when you're going to meet somebody that's going to change your direction in life. So that's how that kind of panned out. It's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, again, like I said, I feel bad if we're missing any, anybody's comment or anything. But no, I do love this from MDB. But that's the thing is, like, again, outside of even just you, because clearly we work together a lot and everything. But I'm saying everybody that's in this chat, whether it's like C Money, MDB, whether you've been here a long time, you've been here first time, of you matter, of very much you have had a positive impact on my life. And I can't be nothing but thankful, grateful, and appreciative for that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's we're going to talk about it, but I mean, finding something we're going to get there. So KJ, Big Nick, love you guys. Become some of my friends. We appreciate that, Larry.
MVP's comment when I pointed it out.
We're getting back. Like, I know it's below me, so I'm going to get back to it. I know it was a good one.
Pause. I didn't think we'd find a pause during a men's mental health stream, but we found a pause.
And remember, folks, laughter is a good medicine. But I have mental health too, along with we got that one. Sorry. But we got those moderate anxiety and severe depression. I have had suicidal thoughts. People making fun. We got that one. And then again, Dennis, that's heartbreaking. But remember, fuck them. And you got friends. You got people that love you, people that care about you. And you got friends here as well. So don't forget that. I just had an appointment not long ago about getting a psychologist. I asked my worker to recommend me, as I avoided getting help as my mental health got worse the past years till I found you guys. I recommend it to everybody. I have 3 brothers. I recommend it to them. I recommend it to anybody that will listen to me, because it made such a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to say too much about it without going into my whole story. And
Well, we can kind of do that now. Like I was just going to kind of click on a
we
couple.
still got plenty of people. We got super chats and everything to say.
Yeah, we got to, we'll click. I like this open forum. You have no idea how much I sincerely appreciate y'all accepting me into the brotherhood with open arms. For someone who always feels slightly as an outcast, that means a lot. And MDB, we appreciate your kind words. We appreciate you being a part of this channel, even holding on to a wrench. But that's exactly how I felt almost forever as an outcast. So I get that. I never really fit into any group properly. I was always kind of just adjacent to whatever it was. I was not a jock. I wasn't, I wasn't sad enough to be the goth kid. I wasn't, like it was just I never.
You were Stan Marsh.
Right. I'd listen to Manson, but I wasn't painting my nails. Like it was kind of like, there was those. I never quite fit. So I get it. And that is one of the coolest things about this channel, this group, this community.
We're an army of black sheep, my guy.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, you're good. I'm jumping to. I got choked up, so you can get choked up. But I'm getting to Denisha with a $10 super chat. KJ Big Neck, men's mental health is so important. Thank you for caring. I'm so wrestling for life. You guys are the best. I can't thank you guys enough.
Whew, Denisha, thank you. We appreciate that.
Every bit of thank you guys send our way, just take that back tenfold, right? Because that's where we're at.
I think there's one here from. I'll go ahead with that one.
Brian Jobson, evening guys, love this kind of stream. You guys helped me through the hardest time, especially when my dad was ill. You boys were the best distraction. Thank you.
That's amazing. That it blows my mind. And we're so grateful. We're humbled by that kind of sentiment.
Absolutely. Like we're just now, instead of where there's weapons of mass distraction, instead of in earthquake and typhoon that went in the Hall of Fame, the natural disasters were the weapons of mass distraction.
Right, dude. It was like we're gonna jump on YouTube and talk about wrestling and make dick and fart jokes and movie references and sing songs. Like that's
we're gonna be a South Park of wrestling,
right? Like that's like. And then, again, we're super humbled by it, Brian. Nexus has a great one as well. It's been a rough couple months for me and my family. My mom in 2021 who had 2 strokes, and the week before that, our house caught on fire. Then a couple of days ago, my grandpa died. Thanks for the show. Well, Nexus, there's a lot to take in. You can understand why that would be hard, but thoughts and prayers, and we appreciate it. We really do.
And again, if this is proof beyond anything of just the simple fact that we're up here talking about this, is you're not alone. Anybody out here commenting, and I saw I never know how I got here, but comment, but you are not alone in any of this. We literally have a whole stream of, we're already at 37 minutes out here talking about this. Proof positive you are not alone in this discussion, this trials and tribulations, anything like that.
Right. No, I completely agree, dude. I completely agree. I've been diagnosed with many things: manic depression, bipolar, schizoaffective disorder, autism, OCD. I don't know which one is real. I mean, you would probably speak to this better than I would, sir.
I can very relate to that. And I guess if we're going to finally talk about our whole situations and everything, of pulling it off. But no. So for those of you who don't know, I am diagnosed bipolar disorder 1 with psychotic tendencies, and dependent personality disorder is my official diagnosis and everything, which once I actually sought therapy, like you talked about before, it was such a relief and a blessing and everything of I finally knew what I was dealing with and how to adjust accordingly and all of that, versus it was, oh, you're too emotional. Oh, it's all up in your head. Oh, you're just, this and that, of, especially when you're a guy dealing with stuff like that and everything of, oh, well, you'll grow out of it. It's just a phase of it is, you're just sensitive, all of that. No, I found out when I was 30 years old. I'm now 36 years old. So I've been dealing and found positive ways to grow and now be more, want to talk about it, want to be an advocate for it and everything. And I got, that was the first tattoo that I ever got, which I don't think I can fully manage it with doing it on stream. But if you flip it around, it's, smiley emoji / frowny emoji and everything. And that's what I got that was my first tattoo ever when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I specifically got it where I got it because you don't ruin art. And so I got it in a place where I don't want to ruin it. If you get what I'm saying. But yeah, to finally, as someone who knew as far as 9 years old, that there was things I needed to deal with and everything like that I might have needed to talk to somebody and everything like that. Like I've made multiple attempts to not be here and everything, and I am incredibly appreciative and thankful that I am here. And again, that's why I say I'm so glad that I found all of this, because you have made sure I'm here and all of that. But to finally have a face to what I had to deal with, and a way to know what I was going against and what I was dealing with and everything, and how to playing around it and have such a support system and everything. Like I know I tell you literally every time we get off stream and everything, I love you and all of that, but I'm going to give you your fucking flowers here now of how much I appreciate of you have been literally from day one, constant check-in, constant make sure I'm good, of even when I don't know I'm not good and everything, of you've picked up so much on how I am and everything. And I don't know if anybody has that's been here for a while and everything, but to have the support system of everybody that tunes in. If you tune in for the first time, I don't cry every stream, but I might cry a lot on this stream. But to find people that I'm okay not being okay around has been the biggest blessing that I can find.
No, I appreciate that, man. And you know the love that we have for each other and Anthony. And I mean, we're grateful to anybody that's kind of helped along with this journey. And I mean, the crazy part of this, mind you, is
that's me. That's me. Right? That's me.
I don't think at times people, and yourself included, truly understand that by going through that process, how much you've helped me in return, or how much having that, having someone just be like, love you, man, you're doing good. Like, that's crazy. Like, especially as a man, kind of looking for that validation. I know some guys out there will post their, their macho stuff of like, I don't need validation. Yeah, we all need a pat on the back.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I, especially once I officially got diagnosed and everything like that, and at times, even right before that, was in some of the darkest spots I've been in, and all of that, I very much just made that a thing and all of that, of even like with my stepdad and my dad, or like anybody, of I'm not ashamed anymore to tell someone I love them or anything like that. Which I think is very much, again, especially around men, is a stigmatism of it's okay to be emotional. Even you see me tonight. Oh, I'm apologizing for being emotional and crying and everything like that.
No, I even like
that's kind of the instant stigmatism.
Yeah, I see you setting it up of like, hi, if you're watching, I'm not always this emotional. Like, you almost have to preface it of like, I got my shit together. I'm a dude, but I'm gonna be soft.
I'm a dude. She's a dude. Right? We're all dudes. Hey, but yeah, no, I want it always, and that's the thing, is I also love, and that's why, like I said, I have the tattoo of, I always view it of having bipolar as my superpower, because much like Spinal Tap, my shit goes to 11. Yes, so I feel, all of the emotions, and all of that. And again, we always try and have a charity stream or a fundraiser or anything like that, to bring awareness to it, but to make it a common thing. And it's funny, like I said, I still remember like the first time I told my stepdad, love you, in like a text. It was like, the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah, right.
I'm hugging my dad. Oh, love you. And it's like,
yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason. Yeah, I mean, we've developed a whole level of language to kind of avoid and remind our dude friends that, we're still men. We're not, anything else.
We're men, manly men, men in tights.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I like it. Paul with a super chat, $10. I love what you doing. Things that can help you is eating good food. We're going to talk about some of this coming up, but eating good food, get stressed out, running, exercise, jog. Don't do nothing negative to your mind and body. It's hard thing, but it feels good. And absolutely. And I think one of the problems is we see this all the time. You read this all the time. And for some, myself included, it's all right. That sounds great. But today, do I got to start today? Do I got to do this today? Like, how do you get started? How do you get going? If you're already in a rut, it's easy to say something. Well, just get up but that's again, we will talk about it a little bit, but you know, we are part of the solution. We have to be a part of the solution. And those are phenomenal suggestions, Paul.
All you got to do is try. That's all you got to do is try. If you're already further along in the game than you ever would have been if you didn't, if you at least just try.
Yeah, just try. And that's it. I mean, that's kind of how I ended up here, and then we're going to talk a little more about it as this clicks by fast.
Oh, sorry. I like Nick. Have you ever seen Kanye album cover where it says bipolar? It's awesome. That's where I got the whole bipolar is my superpower from. So there, you can't hate me for not liking Drake now.
There you go.
But no, and again, there is varying degrees, and yeah, it's again. And the biggest thing to me, I think, is one of the statistics we talked about earlier of that so many men go undiagnosed because they're uncomfortable with talking about that. And that's the thing is, once I got diagnosed, everything felt better. Like, because I went through 20-something years of dealing with not knowing what I was facing. Am I really? Is it all just up in my head? Am I just making up and everything? And then once I actually talked to somebody and actually got no. This is what you're dealing with. And yes, it's you can't see it the same thing as like a broken leg or whatever. But once I know what I'm facing and everything, and once I know what I got to work with, once I know the board, all right, now I can play the game.
Yeah, I think that there was a big help. I mean, once I understood what I was dealing with, what I was going through, and then being able to go, okay, this is the game I'm playing, like you said. Now I know now I can work on countering what I'm dealing with. There's parts of me and my upbringing, my life, my story that has led me to here. But how do I get over it? How do I let go of the baggage? How do I feel better about what I'm dealing with? And right up until the moment I hit fucking go live today, those voices are there. The talk's still there in your head. But it's all right. How do we beat it? How do we go against it? And I mean, one of the greatest things you said, especially when you do develop kind of, if you can connect with people and have that relationship. I mean, at times you said it like, hey man, you feel off. No, I'm good. You're like, I don't know, bro. And you've done it the other way. And it helps to have someone go, okay, wait, maybe I am going through, like, do I miss it? Do I not realize? Like, okay. It helps so much.
Oh, absolutely. And beyond that, but especially, I guess, dealing with bipolar disorder and everything to where, for those who don't know, where you have and especially because I have the top end of it, of you get super manic episodes and super depressive episodes and everything of when you get super manic or whatever, and you think you're God and all that. And then you'll sit there and be like, homie, you good? Yeah, like you said right there, I've seen that guy. Yeah. Very much of, all right, you seem like you're kind of going at an 11 or a 12, and you're normally at like a 9. You good, homie?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's vital, and I think, I mean, for me, it's a lot of that, like, pulling my bootstraps up, and not that self-doubt, not that self-loathing, that you didn't do enough, you're not good enough. Well, why isn't this blown up the way I want it? Why is this not? All those damn questions. I wish I would have done that. So you're trying to let it go, and then you have somebody that looks at you and says, like, you good? You feel heavy right now, and it's like, shit, I didn't realize I was carrying that baggage around. So, I mean, again, the big message, the big takeaway from today is you're not alone, and it helps so much. But go ahead, and then I'll read.
No, I was just gonna say, normal is a lie. Normal is a
lie. I like that. You two made a community where it's not soul diehards, We watch it all or show up to hear your ideas and thoughts alongside Anthony. We do not always agree, but we are always willing to discuss it. That's it, Chris. We appreciate that. That's lovely. JV with a very open comment of I have ADHD, ADD, dyslexia. I've been thrown out of 3 public schools and 2 Catholic schools before the age of 13. My father walked out on us when I was 2. I was raised by an alcoholic stepdad. Again, deep. We appreciate you. I relate to that. I went to 6 elementary schools, 4 high schools, constantly moving, never felt secure. I learned to build walls, and it really, like, where I got friends that I still, are acquaintances more than friends, but I don't hold on to people. I don't connect that way. Everyone leaves. Everyone is going to go somewhere. Like,
you expect the other shoe to drop.
Oh, every time, right? That's why, like, when you wake up and wifey's still there, you're like, okay, one more day. Like, it shapes you as you grow up, and I completely get a lot of that, JV. And I did a lot of things as always the new kid that I was always trying to impress, but never quite fit in. It was a little bit of it was just a really always kind of on your heels. Learn to always kind of that looking over your shoulder at all times because something's about to bad. It's a crazy way to kind of not even realize how it sets you up to deal with the rest of the world as you become an adult.
Well, and it's formulative shit and everything. Even again, going back to like when you're taught as a little kid, boys don't cry. Even if you fall down, you scrape your knee and everything, or you with the hockey. I don't know if you get a skate across.
Oh yeah, you're anybody. Your leg's a long way from your heart. Like you play through injuries. You're not like, especially when I was younger. It's changed now, especially with how much we know about head injuries and that. But you could look at your coach and say like, "I'm dizzy." You're like, "Fucking get out there. I'll make you dizzy." Like it was, but you don't cry. You don't. And that kind of plays into a little bit of what's coming up, but yeah, let it out. It's okay. Out of the blue, unexpected yesterday. Oh my God. Teas and peace chambers again. It's one of the leading causes of death, and that's terrible to hear that. That's tragic, man.
I have nothing but thoughts and prayers, as we said before. We both can relate to that. I've lost people close to us because of that. Christ, I will admit, I almost became a statistic, but I'm very much glad and appreciative that I'm not. And that's why I continue to try and prevent other people from being down that pathway of there was always light at the end of the tunnel and all that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Todd says, I know for me personally, it's difficult because the people who used to be my friends that I used to reach out to aren't in my life anymore. What I'm going to say right now is a little cliche. And again, I'm speaking from experience in the sense of, I mean, every once in a while, I'll like stumble on a Facebook post and I'll see like people I went to college with or people I went to high school, and they're all still kind of friends. And I drifted from everybody. I didn't bring anybody with me on my journey in a lot of ways. And, so I get that, but what you take from that is it's very important to realize if people aren't reaching out, also got to take accountability for yourself. Have you reached out? Because maybe it's just one call away. But the people that are in your life are meant to be in your life, and the people that move on, they were there. You're either there for a season or a reason, and hopefully you figure it out. But yeah, I mean, the past and then moving on. There's other friends out there for you, Todd.
Absolutely. If not, we're your friends. We got you.
Right.
Well, no, I talked. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think some of these comments are kind of leading me down that path. But again, and I mean, I think one of the things I can convey to everybody out that hears this video ever is I think it was important for me when I met you. But I never looked at you. You were honest up front. You talked about, what you're dealing with and you're bipolar and I never looked at you. I just looked at you as a dude, right? Like, and I mean, some days you and I have had conversations that they weren't the easiest conversations because one of us weren't in the right place. But at the end of the day, it was just two guys. Like, and I think too often, someone says, "Oh, I have anxiety disorder. I have bipolar. I have this. I have depression," and they kind of Oh no, I don't need to be. Don't just be. Stay here with
I'm
me.
me, and again, that's why,
Yeah.
like I said before, if I've even argued with you before, of like, I don't need to be fucking coddled or anything like that. But it's
You're too
also,
big
I
to be
did see a
coddled.
post that I even shared as a story on Instagram, I think a day or so ago, of, and it really, and again, it's one of those of, it's not the fullest of accurate, but I get the sentiment and the feeling of that, of like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if my mental illness has ever made me a bad friend. And it was just a guy
That's
holding that sign.
heartbreaking.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those, because again, like we talked about, of that's what makes it really interesting with my bipolar and everything. I at times will know when I start to go up, but I also won't
Yeah.
know at times when I go up.
Mhm.
And that's why I love that I have you, I have whoever, Christ, even the chat would be like, calm her down. Sun's getting real low, big boy.
No, it's again, it's just understanding. Like I think
But
one of
it's
the
that
things.
we can have that open dialogue, that the fact that that's even discussed.
But yeah, well, no, for sure. And I mean, I think beyond that, it's we've had friends or people move on from our lives where all it would have taken was a conversation. I was estranged from like my immediate family for a long time. Like again, I was a bit of a gypsy, a bit of a drifter.
Ice
And
and Fury.
yeah, right. But yeah, again, all it took was like one conversation to kind of put a lot of things back together. And I know not everything's that simplistic, but the people that truly want to be in your life will be in your life. And somebody had told me once, like the plane is gonna take off and the plane is gonna land whether you are white knuckling it or enjoying the flight. Doesn't matter. So you can white knuckle the whole flight, land perfectly, and white knuckle it for nothing, or you can land smoothly and enjoy your time. Because even if it doesn't land the way you want it, if it's going to go nose down in the ocean, well, you were white knuckling the whole time. It didn't change shit. So enjoy the ride as much as possible.
Is it though that some people, because they figure, oh, the conversation can't be as simple as I reach out and I talk to somebody about
It's
this,
fear.
that will know that they just don't ever have the conversation
Mm-hmm.
because I expect it's going to be this, that, and the third, when at
Mm-hmm.
times it really would just be as
Yeah.
simple as, let me reach out and say hi to that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, a lot of ways. And I think a lot of people don't want rejection. They don't want to get kicked back. They don't want to dredge up old stuff. But I think for me, with certain people that I had fallen outs with in times, the question always becomes for me, if they were to not be here tomorrow, would I regret not speaking to them? Now, maybe there are some people that you're like, yeah, say la vie. Their time has come and gone as far as my relationship with them. That's fine. And we're going to talk about that in a quick second because, as always, we run long. But the other side of that coin is, if somebody's important to you and you think, shit, if I don't ever get to say that, I love you again, or get to say, hey, some kind words in that direction, I'm going to really regret it. Those are the people you got to make sure, like, you got to knock on those doors. But I'm going to get to be mandible. Guys, thank you so much for this talk. I'm 54 and I'm just now coming to grips with long-term effects of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse my first 18 years of life. I could only imagine, man. Again, it's crazy. I can relate to that in a big way, and you're when you're young, it affects you forever.
Yes.
Hey, dude, I tried to unalive myself when I was 21 and 36, and at least members of fam, no kids, no wife. Once my mother passed away last year, I'm the last member. If I die, no one would know. Well, we would know, sir, and we would come find you. So knock that off. We're here for
Shit,
you.
I know if you're not in the chat for a couple of days. What are you talking about, my guy?
Right.
But no, and again, I have been there, and I was there at earliest at the age of 9,
Yeah.
where I tried to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's why I fully will constantly say of having this community, being able to artistically, creatively express myself and be
Yeah.
really open as to who I am and accepted and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and have a community rally around and continue to build a community around that has just been literally the best thing, that one of, if not the best thing that's happened. So
Absolutely. I'm also a caregiver taking care of my mom recovering from a stroke. My father had a stroke not that long ago. Nick remembers. And I got a brother with bipolar, so mentally it's tough. But all I can do is take one day at a time. That's it, sir. Try not to worry about the things you can't control. Take care of the things you can. And again, don't be afraid to look around and ask for help and find outlets because they do exist. You are not alone.
Absolutely. And at this point, fuck. I don't know how many times more we gotta say it or be live. Do we need to do a 27-hour live stream or something?
Right, we're gonna keep saying that out loud. You gotta let me be KJ Black for this. Yeah, we can make that work. We can make that work, bro. Let's go. But no, I mean, again, a couple more super chats. Helpful topic with contribution 2. Love it, Roddy. Love the stream, guys. Thanks for a safe place. So what we're trying, and we want to do these more often, folks. Nick, you're really great, bro. I know. I know
you know that deep down, my
guy. Yeah. He doesn't.
Trust me, this man's been trying to tell me it for 3 years, and I still won't listen.
I try and beat it in his head like a fucking drum. But no, we love it. We appreciate it. But I think real quick, we're gonna get into just some suggestions. And I know some of this is not groundbreaking. We've all heard the same things, but we're gonna put our own little personal twists on it. But I mean, ultimately, for me, for those who haven't figured out or haven't heard the story on my end of things, again, like I said. Very fragmented, dealt with depression, never knew I had it, really struggled with anxiety, didn't understand why I'd almost get panic attacks. But at the same time, I was very much like I wanted to be in play. Like, I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted a microphone. But then when I got it, I'd kind of like, So, I mean, it was kind of interesting that way. Don't want to go too far back, but essentially the pivot in my story that changed for everything is I worked at a manufacturing plant. I got my arms dragged through an industrial press roll. So 6 foot, big 7,000 pound wheels. If you can picture a pasta press, I was the dough. Both my arms got dragged through. They got crushed. I was that close to having my neck broken. They hit the e-stop. They had to literally drill and pry me out of the machine that had swallowed my arms. Remarkably, adrenaline's a wonderful thing. I just turned and walked. By the time they got me to sit down, because all I kept saying was don't touch me because I knew my arms were fucked. I ended up going to the hospital. I shattered my arm. As I sit here right now, my elbow's in multiple pieces. It never got put back together properly. My ulnar nerve's not attached. One day I will need Tommy Johns to kind of make my hand not my fingers.
And he's not a baseball pitcher either.
Right. This tattoo on my forearm, I don't know how well. Oh, there we go. This is all covering up scar tissue that I got ripped off my arm. It was a bad day at the office. Something I had done 1,000 times. It was just one day I just went to fix a little snag in our line. We used to run big 2,000-pound polyurethane rolls that would laminate, and we made a product for a roofing company. And it shattered. It shattered. Miraculously, not a finger broken. Didn't break a single finger. Nothing in my hand broke. It just shattered my arm, and like I said, ripped the skin off in a lot of places. But the aftermath is what I wasn't prepared for. The way it all worked out is I showed up at my place of work the next day and just kind of sat around in the office all slinged up because the HR lady kind of had asked me to. It's a long story, not going to get into it. I tried to keep going. I tried to keep moving forward, tried to push it down, tried to bottle it. It ended up causing me to spiral out in a big way. Drugs, alcohol. You know, I'd wake up one day I woke up in a random backyard. Like, it was just, I went completely off rails. No understanding why. And then the company that I worked for thought it would be a great idea to have me oversee the machine that crushed me, because I could then teach others how to not crush themselves. Oops. But regardless, I ended up having a meltdown. Part of the meltdown, I get put on disability for my arms. I can't do repetitive motion. Like I said, my hands go numb. It's crazy. But the one thing I didn't think about, and then it got pushed on me or talked to me. I don't want to say pushed on me, but the doctor who I had known almost my whole life very much expressed that, I was struggling. Like, my depression had exploded. The PTSD of it all was just, I had this whole YOLO mentality of like, fuck it, kill me. I just survived the worst thing I think I've ever been through. And then through that program and what things I had to do, I had to go to therapy. And, we went to therapy. I went to therapy for PTSD, and I think I spent 80% of the time talking about my childhood, my upbringing, my family relationships, how that molded me, how me not living in a way that could make me proud kind of affected how I viewed everything. How if I wasn't living an honest life, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things I'm not proud of. I've been through, a marriage that failed. I've been through the ups and downs, and it felt like every turn, every time I tried to kind of get back to normal, shit went sideways again. And I went through shit like, moving all my shit, by myself, like trying to carry a couch into the house by like flipping it. And just I spent a lot of time struggling, but through help, through finding different outlets, finding different ways, and then kind of growing from that, I was doing a lot better. Then during COVID, I caught a really random, rare bacterial infection in my lungs. It's called Legionella. You can look it up. It's usually for old people. Ended up in the hospital for a month. Sick as hell, almost died. The disease turns your lungs into cardboard. So my lungs weren't working. I was bad. So here I am. I just trying to fix everything, just trying to get shit going. We're in a lockdown. I'm depressed about the lockdown. My girl, thank God she was there and helpful and supportive, even like sneaking me like, McDoubles up to the hospital. But life was crazy. And again, I think the point of all of that and sharing all that with you guys is it was mentally as a man, like my brother holding the bong for me, like, I got you, bro, because my arms are fucked. I couldn't do shit. Trying to I remember being in the bathroom trying to get my pants up and almost in tears because I was just so frustrated of being that useless, that enabled. Like in my head, that's what it was. I was defective. The machine should have pulled me all the way through. And then to bounce back and then get knocked down again and be quarantined into a room and you think that's the last thing you're going to see in this world. And coming out of that, I decided, fuck it. Life changes and I can't be like this. And I battle it every day. There's days where I wake up and for no reason, all I want to do is cry all fucking day. There's days where I just sit there and I'm having a good time. Anyone ever have this happen where you're just minding your own business, having a good time, and all of a sudden the voice in your head says some stupid shit for no reason? It's just like, you suck. Oh, you fucked that up. Whoa. I was just, what are we doing? So, again, that becomes the battle. But through therapy and through getting help, it's not perfect, but I'm still here. I have a little girl that keeps me alive because any day I have ever got to that edge, she is the reason to come back from that edge. And then I found certain things that I was just going to pursue. I started doing my writing. I started doing this. And through starting to do this, I got those creative juices out. I got passion. I got going. And I know this is long-winded, Nick, and I apologize.
Oh,
but
trust me.
It's I think all I want people to know from my story is you can fuck up, you can make mistakes, but at the end of the day, it's never it's not over till you decide it's over. Lord willing, you make a long run of it and everything cooperates, but giving up is not an option.
It's not over until I win.
Right. And I've been in those moments where I was that close. My mind was crazy. Especially during the really struggling with PTSD, being in a grocery store and somebody drops something and it kind of sparks you and you just have to leave the fucking place. So, frustrated as a human and as a man, who do I turn to? What do I do? Do I tell I was just having a good time, but I'm having intrusive thoughts. It's like, fuck, bro, suck it up. We got a party. So you hold on to it, you bottle it. I isolated myself. But there are ways, and one of the, we're going to talk about them now, but there are ways to overcome. There are ways to find an out. You're not done. If you're breathing, you got a fighting chance.
Don't ever apologize, because even as the 3 years plus that we've known each other and everything and talked daily and everything, that's still the most that I've seen you can go into that and everything. I loved every second of it. I'm almost out there. Have I told you lately that I love you? But again, it's one of those, as long as I'm looking up, as long as I'm still breathing, it is not over until I win. 100% of, as long as you got that dog in you, as long as you have a pulse, you are still fighting the game. You are still winning.
Right. I completely agree with that. And I mean, it took me a lot of little things. And like I said, there's some days where it doesn't go well. I've gone through some bad shit and it happens and it just starts getting better. And maybe, it's a little bit of wisdom that comes with age, but you start letting go of shit that doesn't matter. And we're going to talk about some of the things like what you see.
But it is an
here.
everyday thing to go with off of that. It is an everyday thing, especially you went through literally not unalived and everything. And I literally have paperwork that says I'm insane. It is an everyday struggle, 100% of it is such as the game of life is every day you got new to deal with.
Yeah. And sometimes we go on runs where we're like, a good solid week, 2 weeks, everything just feels good. You're rolling fine. And then something stupid happens. And we have a tendency as men at times to catastrophize everything. Like, like when we, the transmission blows in the car, my whole life sucks because I should have had a better car and I need a better job and I need a better, and it just fucking falls on you like an avalanche. And that is, trying to pick your moments and stay calm and realize what's worst case scenario. We're going to get through this. We'll figure it out. There's help. There's support. That's crazy, Jose.
Two sufferers to never been blessed. I think that was Edgar Allan Poe that actually kind of said that. I was like, you can't be blessed if you haven't gone through some form of suffering and everything like that.
Yeah, life is pain. And that's why I think some people act like they've, I feel a lot of people online, like their story or their pain. I hear you and I have been on this channel for 3 years together. And we don't really go into like that kind of stuff. Like nobody's story, everything's in perspective. Like everyone's story is in relative to them. Like something to me might not be a huge deal. To you, it might be a gigantic deal. Everything varies. So to kind of have that, like, well, I've gone through all of it. No one's gone through it. It's not fair. Like, I don't feel that way about my journey.
But even then, still, somebody will at least, again, you can still openly discuss it here and everything.
Right. Absolutely.
Even if you think Goldberg's great, you can still discuss that here.
Mm-hmm. I wish I can share my adventures with you because I don't have any friends to share my stories with. I got a great suggestion for you, Christian. But again, there are places that you can meet people and connect with that are like-minded. So
the Discord, we have one,
right? Use the Discord. Yeah, start a blog, write all about it, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about. One of the things that really helped me. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, I was just clicking Cal's comment. It's wild that I feel like you should be mindful of others. You never know what the person is going through internally. Proud to see you open up like that, KJ. Respect. Absolutely.
Thank you. I agree. I mean, I've been victim to it. I was recently called names online by a very reputable person.
By the softest of egos, by the Charmin wrestling journalist, 100%. Right. I know we did a Meltzer shirt, but we might not be able to do a shirt with this man because he might be the type of that would seek litigation because he's soft as Charmin. He is one ply. Well, we're at least 2 ply. He's 1 ply. But I digress. Sorry.
Right. All right. We're going to get into some
that's the bipolar. I spiked into anger right there real quick.
The other way. It's almost like wrestling therapy. That's what this is. This is great. We all have demons. We just got to learn to manage them and remember it's not bad. It seems. Listen, I hate to be the baboon from fucking Lion King, but it's in the past. If it's in the past, it's in the past. There is nothing we can do, and that's the one. Like one of the biggest things is I lived a lot. And I mean, I still struggle at times with regret of things like, oh shit, I did this. It led me here. It led me to there. I can't change it. It doesn't fucking matter. If I come up with, oh, I got it. That would have been a way better thing. I can't. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I get it. But I mean, we all have those demons. We got to let them go. We got to let that baggage go. We got to make room for the good stuff.
It is okay to not be okay. And that's been the hardest thing as I'm still 36 years old and still having to struggle to understand. Of it's okay to not be okay, of I wish I learned or remember the term of what it is, of it's Japanese pottery and everything, of if vase breaks, they will fill in the cracks and everything with gold to show that there is value, and if anything, more value in what is broken versus what is old.
Absolutely. I like that a lot. Waking up in a field in Manitoba with no clue. No, listen, Chris.
Was a moose nearby? Was a moose nearby?
Ever starts a story with waking up in Manitoba, you know we're on for a ride. No clue what happened since the Friday. Went on a binge drinking with friends, and I realized I needed to stop being heavy drunk. Again, I woke up in a random backyard after an after party, and I was like, where am I? I walked out onto the street. I didn't know whose house I was at. And again, I have these moments that once upon a time it was like, oh, I had this, but it was so detrimental to me, and I put myself in so many bad situations, and I had to learn from that. I had to grow from that.
Yes, and again, sorry if it seemed like we were making a joke of the situation, but
No,
levity is sometimes the best remedy.
It is. We laugh.
Right. Well, and again, that's the statistics we even were talking about earlier. More men will go towards substance abuse and everything. I clicked on that one for a reason.
Sorry, my bad. Go back.
No, you're good. But
I don't know where
I went. Lean towards substance abuse and everything like that versus actually seeking therapy and or consultation. And if anything, too, I think the statistic was that more men are more apt to talk to a peer or someone they view as a peer or anything, someone in their same social circle, than go and see a therapist about it, because that's weakness.
Yeah, for me, it was like that side of things was very much all I wanted to do was be numb. As many minutes of every day, I didn't want to feel shit. I didn't want to feel anything. And I learned how unhealthy that was and how dangerous that ended up being for multiple reasons.
Well, speaking of something that might be dangerous but isn't ever, your talent is off the charts, KJ. I hope you know that you're really a cut above and a real gem of a dude. You have ideas and you execute them. So says MDB.
MDB, I really do appreciate that, because there's days that imposter syndrome is strong, and there's moments that you're not even sure. But I appreciate that love, man. I really do. It means a lot considering.
And we don't even play Among Us with imposter syndromes,
right? Well, Nick, quickly, one of the things on the list here, just to kind of touch on it, so we can kind of move. But for those out there who are struggling or having a bad day, start small. For me, it was little things. I make the bed every day. I know some people are going to roll their eyes like, come on, AJ. It matters. When I was kind of down and out, and everyone's kind of been there where, like, maybe you're not working or you're not working much, and you just like laze around in your sweats all day and you got chip crumbs on your belly. It's so easy to fall into that pattern. For me, it was very much getting up and accomplishing things, like make the bed, so I don't stay in it. Get up, get dressed. I might not be going anywhere, but I put on some clothes. That kind of thing, the little tasks that you can just go, I achieved something. I did something. It matters. I don't care how small the goal is. If your goal is to walk to the mailbox and back because you haven't done that in so long, and going from the mailbox back to the front door is something that gives you anxiety, go halfway. Go 3 steps in the right direction. See if you can do 4 tomorrow. But it's the little things, Nick.
Well, Christ, that's why I was even saying before, of doing all of this has given me the most structure, if anything.
Right.
Now, literally, try to get this advertisement out, put this over here, post this there, and everything like that. There is almost a schedule and almost a regimen to it and everything. And it's one of those, like you were even saying, this is a task I need to accomplish. Today is going to be significantly blah 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 if I don't accomplish this task, of I have to achieve this goal type of shit.
Yeah.
So it's giving a directive, and now it's become just so repetitive that it is the baseline. It is, kind of one of those of, all right, I just always do it.
Yeah, I'm very much a list guy. I do better if I have a list. If I can organize my thoughts. And the next point we're going to talk about kind of ties into it, I believe. Oh, no, I lied. The next one after.
You got to exercise, you got to pump you up.
Yeah, we can talk about this too. But again, write things down. And I love crossing shit off the list. I sometimes write shit I already did. I write it down and then cross it off just because I'm like, yeah. I love crossing shit off a to-do list. Whether you have notepads in your phone, you can create a to-do list there. And even if your to-do list is like, tidy up some shit, You can make myself breakfast a fucking activity, like whatever mundane thing. And I know it might sound so cliche and so silly, but again, it's giving yourself, especially as a guy, that feeling of I accomplished some things. And you might not accomplish your whole list, but you work for it.
Oh, absolutely. And well, it's just you have a routine and everything, and now you can incorporate other things in that routine and all of that. Of it still, it helps scratch that itch of, I guess, male brain here, speaking as a male, of that. It scratches that itch of having a routine, of having something that constantly has you moving towards a certain goal and keeps you progressing, moving forward instead of stagnation. Of even when I feel at my lowest of lows, when, like you said, if I don't want to get out of bed, even to scratch my ass or whatever, but I know I'm not going to feel right if I don't do this, and this type of thing.
Yeah, it compounds so easily, because it's so funny, because when you talk to people who are struggling with depression or anxiety or any of the ailments, and then you're like, well, man, get up and do tasks. You're like, well, I don't, if I could do that, I would. Like, I just don't feel like doing that. But then when you don't do it, it just compounds, right? So you're already feeling shitty about life or shitty about yourself. And then you start adding to, like, oh, I didn't do anything today. I didn't even brush my teeth. That's not good. I haven't moved in 3 days. Like, staying stagnant, staying still, it just festers. So stay moving, exercise. And again, me and you are
going to do it. We're going to pump you up. Yeah.
I mean, I went through a year and a half of rehab with my arms. I was in the gym for 6 days a week. I love the gym, and I love being as active as possible through like COVID and everything else, and now kind of life. I don't get to the gym nearly as much as I want to, but there are things. And if anyone in this chat wants to reach out to me, on socials and talk about it, but there are like the crazy little things I've done with friends of, like, commercial comes on. During the commercial, stand up and sit down from the spot you're in 10 times or until the commercial's over. Like, there are these little like nuances, like you can do counter push-ups while you're waiting for your fucking toes to pop. There are little things that don't demand, and you can do it privately. I know a lot of the stigma is like, I don't want to go to the gym and have the big muscle guys laugh at me and da. There are little things you can do. And the easiest thing I suggest to anyone, because it's therapeutic, walk at your pace, walk as far as you can, walk. It helps so much.
Well, and I was one of those guys at one time that very much going to the gym and everything, and I still have a couple dumbbells at home and everything. Of very much going to the gym was the release, was the therapy of clanging and banging and all that. But absolutely, of again, do what you can do, and again, still just have, like, the fact, the biggest thing out of anything is just put the first attempt forward to it and everything. Of yes, we have the channel, yes, we do this or anything, but it all took taking a step forward. Of taking one step forward, you're already 10 miles ahead of where you would have been and everything, versus not even making an attempt. Of if it is, like you said, just get up and walk. Go walk around your probably closing down mall or anything like that. Go and just curl some 10-pound weights in your living room or anything like that. Go and do yoga. I've, especially as I've gotten later, been more into trying to do yoga and everything.
Yoga kicks my ass, bro. I'm not flexing.
I'm
not bendy. I'm not bendy at all. I'm not bendy.
That's how you get bendy. But that's the thing, is just taking something to it. And again, that's why I love that I even took the first step of just showed up in the comments, and now we're here, and now this is now aggressed and evolved to the point to where I feel like I got to get a story out of, I want to do this. I want to promote the channel as much as I can. Of this is now a motivation and a motivator to get out of bed, to not feel sad sacks or anything like that. And it all started from literally, oh, maybe they'll say hi to me. To now here.
But yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, again, it goes back to the kind of that list idea of, like, if you write down in your notepad on your phone or in an actual notepad of, like, do 10 push-ups today, or do, walk around the house twice. sounds stupid, but it's a small task. But then, you start adding to that. All right, walk to the end of the block, walk around the block,
Right.
like that kind of thing.
Todd went up with a two.
Started in the comments.
like
Now
this.
you hear. I like it.
Yeah, I like this though. So started in the comment. Now we're here.
Right. Put your phones down. This one was big for me. I was on my phone a lot. I use my phone to compensate a lot. And everyone's going to be like, but dude, you're on social media. I am on my phone less now than I've been in a long time. I do my work. I do my posts. I get it out. But that's where you notice sometimes I'm MIA, like in the Discord. You have to get away from your phone. If no other reason, guys, the algorithm is a motherfucker. It will haunt you. Like, you ever go to TikTok sad? It will feed you sadness all day fucking long. You ever go through a breakup? TikTok will remind you you're going through a breakup every fucking day.
TikTok.
Well, not just TikTok, but the algorithm is brutal. And but again, if you have communities there and you can connect with, but you have to take time away from that phone. You have to live for the moment. You got to get out of just, I think, so much predicated on comparison. I mean, I don't like the idea of like following people that I don't really associate with, or old friends or whatever that I don't associate with anymore. Of like, you kind of, I want to live in my world. I don't, that was it. Comparison is the stealer of joy. Like,
yeah, comparison is the thief of joy.
Right. Like that's kind of the sentiment. And so you got to pick your battles. Now, when we're live and if you watch us on your phone, pick your phone back up. We'll make you laugh. We'll make you happy. But you got to pick times. You got to put that phone down. You got to minimize that screen time at times, and stop living through that phone. It creates an absolute mind fuck. It keeps your mind twitching in a wrong way. It will overfeed you the wrong information. And that is one of my biggest tips. I had to get away from my phone.
I will admit I struggle with that. Well, halfway more of trying to grow the universe and all of that. But yes, also, yeah, and it's very much live in the now instead of Twitterverse, because Twitter ain't real. But yeah, I will admit that that's something that I am actively trying to work on. Of trying not, it's still not even engage the trolls, but it's still more one of those, just more engagement.
Right. Absolutely. And I know we all want it. And I know you and I have had this talk privately of just, you know what I mean? I was told by a person, there's no point going through all this hard work to get where you're going to drop dead. So let's take a breath. Yeah, we might not. Your moment's going to be your moment. The cream rises to the top.
Dig it.
Right. So again, I think enjoy the day and take the stress, make it enjoyable. If you have tasks to do, if you have to go to work, find ways to make that job entertaining, and find little things to do. Find ways to make it less mundane. I don't care. It's like, well, last week, I stacked 15 skids. This week I'm going to stack 20. Like, I don't know what your job is or what you do, but find that ways to kind of find joy in everything. And something like what we do, I mean, it's got to be fun, or what are we doing?
Well, that's why we're trying to make this the thing fun all the time.
Right.
No, just run through the sales floor and just start going. I like to sing about the sun and the moon and the spring.
Every once in a while in the store, I go, woo, just to see if someone else will do it. Yeah, it's like it. I trust me, I'm an adventure nowadays. I don't, as much as people might think they can, I don't embarrass easy. So I love playing around. I make conversations with strangers. I'm very open. Like, I hold doors for people. You should always do that. Be respectful, be kind. It's super important. But remove negativity. KJ does. Yeah, it's true. I do a tap out. There's certain times I just have to tap out, and I think it's healthy. So sometimes I get behind on responding to shit.
Now if y'all could just make us to where we don't gotta fucking mother hen you shits.
Right. Seeing some of these comments coming through, but remove negativity, and that includes toxic people. Again, if there's people that make you feel bad about you, as much as you might love them, you have to minimize their role in your life. You can't just cater to everybody. I think that's something I did a lot of. I always would tell people, like, I'm a chameleon. Like like I don't really fit in anywhere, but I can kind of fake it enough. But then I lost track of who I was. What do I, who's me? What do I want? And I think a lot of people need to ask yourselves, what do I want? And be okay with what you want. I think as men, and I mean, some of the situation I went through in my personal life, it's, as the guy, you're supposed to just show up every day and be the guy, no matter what you're getting in return, no matter how you feel, you're expected to be there. You're expected to get this done. And it's not always fair. So you have every right to be happy. Life is short. Grab your happiness and make it happen. But try and minimize that negative, change that mindset.
Be okay being you. Again, this is just me being me. You're good enough. You don't need to pretend to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's some love. And Swords, I didn't acknowledge you directly, but I did love your comment as far as, writing down extremely. And this is where we're going to talk about something that I believe a big thing that saved my life and helped me save my life is journal. And I know some guys out there don't want to have like a journal, a notebook.
I just don't do it. I'm too scatterbrained to do it.
I started doing a thing because I was very much like you. Like, even if I was going through a moment or something, I felt like I should journal, or sometimes I just suck at making time for things like that. So what I would do is I have a notepad on my phone. I started a note, and that note never ended. That note is still open and active today. Anytime I feel like I'm having an intrusive thought, a bad thought, when I've gone through breakups or bad times, and I'm just having those thoughts of, and everyone out there gets them, of you're having a day and you're just kind of it, if you're at work, you can go to the bathroom, pull out your phone, get on your notepad. Wherever I was, I would literally write it out as if I was telling the story to somebody. Oh man, I can't believe it feels this way. I'm going through this. My mind's crazy. I can't stop thinking about it. It's driving me nuts. I wish this was better. And I just started kind of mapping my journey, and I found a way to get it off my chest. Now, if you want to do the nightly thing where you sit down and kind of plot out your day, that's not my strength, because half the time I'm like, what happened today? But I found having an open notepad and just being able to add to it. And I would put dates on it, like June 12th. I'm having a bad day today, freaking out. I fucking hate everybody. I don't want to live. I can't handle this shit. What the fuck's everyone's problem? And even if it was that, and then I'd leave it alone. And then I'd add another note, as it goes. But it is also important to make sure you add in the positives, the wins. You have to give yourself credit for the wins. But journaling, lists, manifesting, I believe in all that shit. If you don't believe in your goals and your dreams strong enough to write them down, who else is ever going to care about them? So you put them down on paper. Put your thoughts down on paper. It becomes so relieving, and sometimes it's enough that you just feel like you got it all out. Like, you don't let it ruminate. You just push it all out. This is what I was feeling. And sometimes you go back and read that shit of like, whoa, I really had a crazy first week of May. I was losing my mind left, right, and center. Or, well, I had a really good October. Things were great. Things were rolling. What happened? And you kind of can watch your mindset. You can watch for those patterns. You can watch for those things that reoccur.
Yeah, no, well, and I personally love that that's something that works for you, and I know works for people and everything. I will admit, I've tried that and have been too scatterbrained to can have that fully work for me and everything. But no, and that's why different strokes work for different folks and everything. Oh, so that's why I love that you fully can have that and fully explain it. I'm just like, I got nothing to contribute, but I think it's perfect because I know that there's a contingent of people that is something that need to do, because I've tried to do it. I just personally don't cooperate with my brain, but
don't listen to the haters. That was one of the things we had to adjust to a little bit here. You start making a wrestling podcast, and then all of a sudden you get some heat and you get some like stupid comments, and
we don't want anyone to publicly embarrass us or anything like that,
right? So you just learn to put that off your shoulder. My favorite quote, and I will say it out like at times, like something will happen, or I wear a lot of funky shit when I go out. Like, I like graphic tees and hoodies and shit, and like someone will give me a funny look, and I'm like, I'll literally say out loud, none of my business. Their opinion of me, none of my fucking business. I don't care what you think. And it's really hard to get to that point. depending on where you're at in your life. But just be you. Just, I mean, it is what it is. That's all you can do. But the journaling thing, I 100%. I advocate for journaling. Thank you 444. It's just such a therapeutic way. I've turned, I've had, sometimes it's poetic. Sometimes it turns into a little bit of a song. It's lyrical, and I like it. But it helps from that bottling, from that pent up. And sometimes when you read your own words, you can look at your words and go, that's not so bad.
Yeah, but that's even though of still, like I've said before, to me doing this and everything in that kind of creative sphere and everything like that. You've even probably noticed of if I've tried to write down and know where I'm going with something and trying to fit in a joke, too much, and I just blah 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 because I've ran through it too many times in my head. I just like doing this if it's such a I guess to how you do with the journaling of it's such a release. This to me is I get to be creative for 3 hours.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is definitely a part of my recovery, a part of my positive mental health is just being able to be creative. It is so vital for me. We've set up home studios, like, with the cushions in the closet. We've done all that shit. And anytime I could be creative, I want to be creative. That's why I love this channel so much. I get to empty so much of that energy. But now you mentioned being scatterbrained, someone else. I would recommend write down the scatter. Like some people, I'm too scatterbrained.
I'm the scat man.
Instead of going to like Twitter and scrolling through to see what people are saying about whatever, open your notepad and just write down whatever the random thought is.
I can't remember to write that down. I barely remember, but I like to where I like the freestyle. I like the more of worth how much I feel emotions. I like to where I can actively just in the moment just be fluid with it and everything. And I get very much with that. I'm just I couldn't stay consistent with it. I've tried it. I've had a couple journals.
Consistency is tough. And again, for anyone else there who are also scatterbrained, I know consistency, that's my thing. Like, and you know what? I learned that I can go back to something I have journal entries that are like months, weeks apart kind of thing, right? Like you kind of lapse from it, especially when things feel good. I feel less inclined to do some of the things that keep me straight. And then, shit goes sideways and you got to kind of pull it back together. But ultimately, for the other gentleman who said he was a little scattered as well, don't be afraid. Like anything, you can put anything in there. Even if the thought is, man, I really wish I had a nice pair of pink socks. If that's the thought, put it down. Who cares? I really want to eat a roast chicken today. Like, write it down. Who gives a shit? Right? Like, again, it's kind of a very therapeutic thing to kind of map that journey, especially when it's a pervasive thought that just it stays with you. My brain's telling me I suck again today. My inner voice is saying I'm not shit. Like,
well, it is a little bit to the same aspect as I do really like this from Sean. So we'll get to that in a quick second. But it's like when you get a song stuck in your head of you have to finish the lyric, you have to write it out, kind of that vibe of let me just put this on paper so it's some way of expressing it and getting it the fuck out of my head.
Yeah, it's almost like the Dave Chappelle thing of like Dave Chappelle talks about like I have a fishbowl full of like punchlines. And it's like these random thoughts. And then all of a sudden one day he pulls out one and that random thought becomes a joke. That becomes something solid. Same thing kind of works with this of like one day I wrote down this blurb, had no idea what it meant at the time, but now I'm looking back at it and maybe it means something. Like I just a big advocate of journal. And I think this is the biggest one we talk about today. We talk about not being alone, but you can read the comment first.
I like this from Sean as the combat vet that deals with mental health every day. Thank you for talking about this. My story is dark, but I'm glad you guys are bringing some light. KJ Big Nick are awesome. Absolutely. That's the big, to me personally, 3 takeaways that I would say for anybody to come away from this of it's okay to talk about not being okay, of you are not alone, and normal is not a reality.
Yeah, that's it. I love those thoughts and talk. Not only talk to someone. I mean, I know that's the hardest step. That's why I offer, and I mean, I've seen people that do like the voice journals, right? So you can talk to yourself, but talk.
I do
Give,
that.
oh,
It's
I
when
do
the
it
voices
constantly.
talk back.
And talk back. That's the next point. Talk back to the voices. Something that I have to consistently do is tell the negative thoughts how stupid they are. I have no problem out loud going, "Oh, that's fucking dumb," or "Why would you think that?" Like, talk about it. That's why if you want to do a voice recording, click record on your phone. It's for you, and you just tell yourself you talk about whatever you're feeling. If you're feeling, I'm feeling really depressed today. This is not going well. The voice, I literally answer back that voice in my head that pops up and will say, "Oh man, that's not you're failing. What are you doing? You're not good at this. You failed as that. You're not what you think you are." And I go, "Well, no, that's dumb. I don't think so. That's not true. Well, I've done this and this and this." And I will out loud counter those inner thoughts. I will out loud say the things that reinforce the positivity in my brain.
Well, that's with all of this, if that's your biggest enemy, is the person you face in the mirror, is the internal voice and everything. Because I mean, you said it perfectly about me of you're somebody who has all of the confidence and none of the confidence at the same time, of having that discussion with who you look at and who you see looking back at you, whether it be accurate or not, and everything is the biggest hill to climb over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, sometimes it's hard to look inward, but it sounds crazy. And it may, again, there is no normal. So the fact that I literally will have that conversation with my brain of, you're kind of running, and pulling it back, it helps. And like 444, I love it. Again, I'm the exact same way. I'm the guy that has like 14 tabs open on my internet when I'm trying to get work done. There's shit going, there's TV on, I'm video playing on fucking Twitter. There's just shit everywhere. And I got to learn to focus that journaling, lists, that kind of thing. Expressing yourself, not having it all bottled, kind of allows me to breathe.
Right.
I think this
joy.
Last one, Nick. Find joy. And
I think I have. I was going to say, well, no, like I said, I'm coming off of all of this. If again, you said it earlier, I cannot strongly more agree with it and back it up. And again, for anyone, whether it's your first time, a long time, anything like that, of this is very much part of my joy. Of I look forward to doing this. Of this has been such a, this is my journaling, I guess, or anything like that. Of this is just feel the rhythm, feel the vibe. Come on, y'all, it's wrestling time. All of that of this is my escape. This is my, I've had a shit day, but I know I can sit there and I can go and talk to KJ and I can talk to everybody about all the wrestling and everything like that. And I can go and have fun for 2-3 hours and everything else just shuts off for a bit.
It's very cathartic in that way. And when I say find joy, I know some people out there are going to say, well, KJ, if we wouldn't be depressed if we could just wake up and find joy. There's reasons. Nick said it earlier. Today's a great day to have a great day. I love that line. Again, cliches are cliche for a reason. And for me, I don't care if it's, again, if you woke up next to the person you love, that's a reason to have joy. If you happen to make breakfast and it was spot on, even if it's little things to be joyful about, find joy. But then also find, like, if you find something, and I don't care what it is, if it's sports, if it's wrestling, if it's music, if it's a bit of all of them. For me, a lot of it was my writing, my creativity, the music, and then doing this. Very much like you said, I found reasons to be joyful. I found people that helped my life be joyful, and the people that weren't helping my life be joyful, well, they had to go by the wayside or figure out. Don't forget, when you do strive for more, some people aren't meant to come on that journey. They're not ready for you to level up. You have to leave them behind to get to that next level, because we all have friends who've been doing the same shit for 10, 15 years that have never evolved, never grown, never done better. They're still doing the same. Really? You're still peddling nickel bags? Come on now. And we all know the Cat William joke, but
I thought you said Nickelbacks. I mean, burn it down tonight and everything. But
speaking of finding joy.
Right. Well, and still, again, with the cliches of, like you said, if it's a great day to have a great day. Right. There's always a great day to have a great day. Of the you have 24 hours, make of it what you will. It's a great day to have a great day. Be your friend, tell a friend, like we even say and everything.
Mhm.
It's literally in the corner there
Yeah.
of, again, you don't know what your impact, what your words on somebody else might have an impact on their life and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And be a friend, tell a friend, it might save a life. And again, I've said it enough. I think this channel is proof positive. It's saved mine. And Christ now almighty, I thought I forgot the third thing that I was going with, but yes, very much. Sometimes shit's cliche because it just fucking works, and it's still, you have to be reminded of it, of, oh, that's what it was. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
100%. That is the biggest thing. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay of, hey, I want to just sit there and simulate what it would be like if I was the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs
Right.
on 2K24 or whatever, like that
Right.
type of shit. It's okay to just do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, 100%. And again, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Find your joy. You will find. I never expected to find this guy sitting across from me. I never expected it, but I found him. So funny shit happens. I know Christian talked about, trying to find friends and find connections. If you have commonality, you can find friends, as you found here. We all share wrestling in common. I know Christian mentioned he likes vintage jerseys. Find your joy. I mean, look, if he went to the flea market, fed his fish. It's a great day. Those are your wins. I also think that's one of the things, like, I love now. Part of my joy is to look down on my to-do list and see 80%, 90%, 100% of that page crossed off and feel good about it. Accomplishing things, no matter how little, how small, and even if it is a matter of, you know what, this didn't happen today. I didn't have a panic attack today. I didn't get anxious when I went to the supermarket. I didn't, you kind of ruminate on my past relationship that didn't work out. Those are wins too. We got to chalk them up, but find your joy. Find something. If it's Pokemon, if it's retro jerseys, if it's two bearded guys watching wrestling, doesn't matter what that joy is. As long as you're not harming anyone else on this planet, do you love it, dig into it, and be true to yourself. Things work out in a funny way. And also, like Nick said, as far as it's okay not to be okay, it doesn't matter how much we talk about all this stuff mental health wise. We have to understand that things are still going to go bad. We have to understand that things won't always work out the way we want them to. It's not about failing. It's not about getting things wrong. It's about learning. It's about growing and accepting. Yeah, today wasn't the best of days. There was good in there, though. The day wasn't all bad. And tomorrow, I just hope to be a little bit better. And if you can get a little bit better every day, you got a lot to be thankful for.
Did you make it to tomorrow? It'd sure be a whole lot cooler if you did. All right, all right, all right, all right. That's the thing, is the world's a lot better with you in it than you without it. Bottom line.
Yeah, and that's it. We got nothing but love for everyone out there. We appreciate everyone who stopped by. If you're watching this video, whether you watch it live or the replay up on the channel, be a friend. Share this link. If you got any friends out there, share this link with them, and maybe just hearing people talk about it. Again, we're not experts, folks. We're just some guys that have been through some stuff. Again, I love Nick's story because I don't think people truly understand the challenges of, Nick's got to come on here. I said this recently. He comes on here, 5, 6, 7 days a week, 300 plus days a year, and it's a battle. I mean, as much as I know my battles, I can't even begin to understand Nick's battle as well. And it's a testament.
Well, we're not going to get into comparison battles here and everything.
No, it's not about the comparison.
No, I had to crack a joke, my guy. I had to ccrack a joke.
You shut up with your manisms.
Mannerisms. Right? Let me mansplain you this.
Right, but again, it's a testament. I've had hard days, literally, like I said, kind of wiping the tears away and getting ready for a show 5 minutes before it happens. But
again, I'll cut you off here now with this. That's why, though, and again, if you're watching this on a replay, and I hope you are, if you're watching this live or anything, we're here for 2 minutes back in a stream 2 years ago or anything like that, or this is the first time you're watching this today and everything, and especially having this man beside me and everything, of having the support system that we built and everything, and building the fucking community and everything, of seeing how Twitter's devolved and seeing how sort of wrestling fan bases
Yeah.
have become more fucking let me stake my claim in this bullshit just to get attention. I like that this is going back to when we were kids and everything. Of on the playground of like, I think Kane's better than the Undertaker. Of like, all right, so let's talk about it type of thing. Of actually being palatable and just being fucking human beings against each other versus acting like we need to just destroy everybody. But
Mhm.
no, this
I
is go ahead.
No, but we see it all the time. Like it's so easy to kind of get instantly mad at somebody. Somebody bumps into you at at the store, or somebody gets in your way, or again, it's this instinctually to kind of fall into that. And I find my life's a lot happier that now that I don't let a whole lot get to me. If you can just kind of like you get what you give, and if you can give some positivity, like I
Uh,
said, if you can be a
uh,
right.
1, 2, 3.
And I
Sorry.
like this from 444 as far as conquer things because I mean that's it. No matter how big or small, find things to conquer. I like that sentiment. That's in our
Finding goals,
nature. It's
finding
in our blood.
accomplishments and everything. Yeah.
But
I just tend to die on big hills instead of little hills.
that's you're allowed. You're allowed. But just so you guys can see it, and it's going around the ticker. Also, it's available all over the place. Just Google help. But 988 in a lot of countries will get you help and connect you to somebody that will offer help. I believe. Again, if you are in a crisis, if you're feeling any kind of way and you feel like no one's going to answer, call the cops. Call. I don't care. I know you might not want to, but just reach out to somebody. And the answer here: family, friends, anyone, anyone, reach out and have a talk. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And again, just find someone to talk to. I guarantee you it's not as bad as you think it is.
I am again very appreciative that I've not only found you and Anthony to talk to, but also a whole lot of other people to talk to and all of that. And yeah, somebody who's been through those lines and needed those resources and everything like that. And might have been out there wearing, the no slip socks and everything, so you can't hurt yourself and all that.
That's it.
Of there is nothing wrong with you. It is just how can you better handle something? How
Mhm.
can you how you are okay. Like you are not alone in this. There is nothing wrong with you. It is how can you better handle things moving forward. The whole world is a lot better with you here involved in it than without you in it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we appreciate everyone. We call us the Wrestling Fans United for a reason. We want to get away from the toxicity of some of the internet vibe, and we want to welcome it all. But as you can see here today, united we are stronger. Together we are stronger. Support your friends. Support people that acquaintances. Anyone you come across, be supportive. I mean, people will give you a reason not to be, but at the end of the day, together we can do this. And again, I will say it for the millionth time: you are not alone. You are strong. And again, you always have friends here at this community, this channel. All the links are down below. We're not experts, but we've been through some shit. And we are so grateful. We are so humbled to see all the kind comments, to see all the like-minded comments, to see people come forward with their own personal stories. It means a lot, and it helps strengthen the idea of you are not alone. So thank you, Nick, thank you, Anthony, thank you, everybody. This was a whole lot of fun. It went double the time that we anticipated, but we just couldn't stop talking.
Yeah, it costs nothing to be nice. Be a friend, tell a friend. It might just save a life. But yeah, we might have some other people that have some things they wanted to say before we send it out here, my guy.
Sorry, say that again. The last
I said I thought we might have some other people that want to say some things before we send it
Oh,
out of here, my
my
guy.
bad. My bad. Thank you. Bad producer. But ladies and gentlemen, Nick is completely right. We did have a couple friends of the channel reach out and they wanted to share their sentiment. So we will say thank you very much to our buddy over at the Soul Sessions. You got to go check him out. And as well, of course, Big Ben. He's been here before, Nick. But here's a message from a couple of our buddies.
Hello, Wrestling for Life Network fans. My name is Soul. I'm the host of the Soul Sessions, a wrestling interview show based in Scotland, and we're here today to discuss a very important topic, and that is men's mental health. It's okay to not be alright sometimes. You may be in a position where you think everything is negative, it's a dark place, you don't know what's next, you think, the world's ending. But it is okay to talk about it. It's okay to share your feelings with family, friends, other wrestling enthusiasts, if that's in your circle, or anything else, any other hobbies that you have. Because it is okay to not be okay, but it's also okay to talk about it. It's always important to share your feelings. Never keep them bottled up. I know there is that stereotype, men will be men, keep it bottled up and keep on that brave face. You don't have to. Share your feelings, share your thoughts, because at the end of the day, someone does care about you. You may not think it, but trust me, someone does care about you. Friends, family, or other close circles. There are people that care about you. You may not feel it, but trust me, people do care about you. And always remember, smile, folks, because you are important to somebody. So keep being around on this planet, because you are a worthy asset to the world that we have. Remember, folks, always take care of your head. Thank you.
Hey folks, it's your pal, old BTBB, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, and I am so happy that my pals over at Wrestling for Life Network are putting a spotlight on men's mental health today. Because you know what it means to me. I've been gassing up independent wrestlers this whole entire month because I believe that in wrestling we can all be better, especially when men are supporting other men. I know there's the old adage of, you can either make money or make friends. I think you can do both. You can make money and you can make friends, and you can make a lasting impression on people in professional wrestling. So boys, thank you for the spotlight today. I hope this video wasn't too late. You know what it means to me. I apologize for it being a little late, but you guys are the best.
Boom, there it is. So big thank you out to Ben Bishop and the Soul Sessions. We greatly appreciate their support. Two guys that have been on this stream at some point. And we appreciate the community. We appreciate the love. Ben out there doing the hard lifting, literally gassing up somebody every day, really highlighting, really being an advocate for men's mental health and again, souls. Good old Scottish boys. So with nothing but love for both the gentlemen for that, Nick.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and again, shout out to Ben gassing up everybody for literally all the days of men's mental health. But going back to it, to me, mental health discussion should be an everyday thing, not just a once a month. And it doesn't even have to be exclusive to men, women, anything.
Everybody.
It needs to be more of a discussed about topic and more of a thing, because it is sickness, is it an illness? It is an issue that people have, but you can't physically see it. Like, yeah. I don't walk funny because I have bipolar disorder.
Exactly. But just like Nick said, to echo that before we say goodbye here, folks, you're not broken. You are okay. Normal is a figment of our imagination. Doesn't exist. Your normal is your normal. Be the king of your kingdom. Create your world. You are not alone. Don't stay still. Don't stay stagnant. Keep moving. Keep being strong. But more than anything else in this world, never, ever, ever, I know what I did, give up. Never give up. You are loved. You are cared for. Never, ever give up. And until next time, we are always going to be here for you. We are a family. We are a community. We are happy to see all the people in the chat today. Of course, we are back tomorrow for the fallout of Night of Champions. One little plug. We only have one little plug today, but we watch more live wrestling than anybody else out there. Nick, your final thoughts and your goodbye?
Normal is nothing but a setting on an appliance. It is a fallacy. You are not alone in this, and trust me, we got 2 hours to prove you're not alone. And again, just talk, be a friend, tell a friend, talk about it. Again, very much be a friend, tell a friend. You don't know if you might be saving somebody's life, and I will publicly say this: you and this has saved mine. So I will publicly say that. It's not just a cheesy fucking gimmick, it's a reality.
Yeah, all the hearts, man. And again, I think likewise. The many nights you guys have come through and saved me and made me feel better and forget about all the problems. So it's humbling. We're grateful. and we're looking forward to having a whole lot of fun. We will have more streams like this. We will continue this open dialogue. We will continue to support each other, male, female, and otherwise. We were here as much as we can be, and stay tuned. We got lots more coming your way. Nick,
this is what I gotta do. That our shit is real. Our shit is raw.
I guess so. We got it.
We talk about that rest. You put that for life with it.
Thank you. Thank you again. Never give up, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.